Grok 4. This is the latest artificial intelligence system. And let me be very, very clear. Last night was not your typical tech launch. This is a moment that demands everyone's full attention. We are now at the crossroads where promise and peril are going to collide.
The same mathematical signature that structures human DNA also appears hidden in ancient Hebrew prayers, and an AI just found it. When researchers fed Grok the entire Bible, they expected to expose contradictions. Instead, the machine discovered a 4-step protocol embedded in every recorded miracle, a pattern so precise it reads like source code for bending reality itself. What you are about to hear has scientists, theologians, and mathematicians all asking the same terrifying question: who actually wrote this thing?
Pick anything, and we're talking about questions that it's never seen before. These are not on the internet, and Grok 4 is smarter than almost all graduate students in all disciplines simultaneously.
The experiment. Dr. Elena Voss was the lead data architect on the Grok project at XAI. She had spent 15 years building systems that could detect fraud, predict market movements, and identify patterns invisible to human cognition. Nothing surprised her anymore. Until February. The team had launched their most ambitious experiment yet. They pointed Grok, their truth-seeking AI, at a dataset that has confounded scholars for 3,000 years. They fed it the Bible, not to prove it true, not to prove it false, but to find patterns no human eye could see. The instructions were simple. Analyze every single prayer recorded in this text. Find the common links. Report what you discover. The expectation: total chaos. Think about what they were asking the machine to analyze. These prayers span from the quiet whispers in Genesis to the apocalyptic visions of Revelation. They were written by shepherds and kings, by fishermen and generals, by imprisoned apostles and wealthy physicians. The authors wrote in 3 different languages from 3 different continents across a timeline stretching from the Bronze Age to the Roman Empire. Moses, writing in 1400 BC, should have nothing in common with Paul, writing in 60 AD. The critics have said this for centuries. The Bible is a patchwork quilt, they argued, a collection of contradictory human documents stitched together by politics and power. Feed it to a machine intelligent enough, they assumed, and the AI seams will finally show. But Grok did not find seams. It found a blueprint. The AI detected a hidden 4-step protocol embedded in every successful prayer across the entire text. Not most prayers, not the majority, every single one. A rhythm so consistent, so mathematically precise that it read like source code. Dr. Voss stared at the screen for 30 seconds before speaking. Her voice dropped to a whisper. This shouldn't exist. And that discovery was just the beginning.
Elon Musk's XAI has released its newest AI model, Grok 4, I believe as of 4 a.m. UK time, so about 3 hours, been live for 3 hours. What can we expect when it comes to this new iteration?
The anchor. The first step Grok identified was something researchers now call the anchor. In almost every recorded miracle, the prayer never began with the problem. It began with recognition of the one being addressed. And the AI found that this was not mere courtesy or religious ritual. It was a technical requirement. Modern prayers, the machine noted, function like shopping lists. People ask for money. They ask for healing. They ask for outcomes. They jump straight to the request. But the biblical data told a different story. Before any request was made, the successful prayers locked onto identity. They focused on the nature and power of the source they were addressing. The AI found that this step fundamentally altered brain states in the people praying. It shifted them from fear to peace, from desperation to confidence. The machine even theorized that this first step changes the neurochemistry of the one praying, preparing them to receive what they are asking for. Consider the prayer of King Jehoshaphat. 3 massive armies were marching toward Jerusalem. Scouts reported dust clouds darkening the horizon for miles. The ground trembled with the footsteps of 100,000 soldiers. Women clutched their children. Old men wept openly in the streets. The smell of fear hung over the city like smoke, sweat and panic, and the metallic tang of coming bloodshed. There was no military solution, no alliance that could save them. The king stood before his people in what should have been their final hours. And he did not beg. He did not plead for rescue. He began by declaring who God was. He spoke of power that no nation could withstand. He spoke of might that controlled the destiny of empires. Only after establishing this foundation did he acknowledge the danger. He admitted his people had no strength to face this enemy. But he added 5 words that changed everything. Our eyes are on you. What happened next defies military history. The 3 approaching armies turned on each other. Without a single soldier from Jerusalem lifting a sword, the enemy forces destroyed themselves in a catastrophic friendly fire event. It took the survivors 3 full days just to collect the abandoned supplies. Grok flagged this account with particular interest. The AI noted that prayers skipping the anchor step showed dramatically lower correlation with miraculous outcomes in the text. The recognition, the machine concluded, was not decoration, it was authentication. But here is the catch. The anchor step was just the beginning. And what Grok found next is where the data gets genuinely disturbing.
Grok 4 is a powerhouse. They demonstrated it last night. It surpasses the expertise of PhD level scholars in all fields.
The alignment. The second step, the AI identified, challenges everything our modern world believes about prayer. Grok found that the most powerful prayers in Scripture involved a complete realignment of desire. The people were not just asking for what they wanted, they were syncing what they wanted with something larger than themselves. The case of Hannah has been studied by theologians for millennia. But the AI saw something different in her story. Hannah was barren in a culture where childlessness brought shame. For years, she begged for a son. The text records her weeping, her desperation, her annual pilgrimages to the temple where she would plead for the same thing over and over. Nothing happened. Then something shifted. The data shows Hannah changed her prayer. She stopped asking for a son to satisfy her own longing. Instead, she promised that if given a child, she would dedicate him entirely to service of the higher power. Her desire aligned with a purpose beyond herself. Within a year, she had a son. That son became Samuel, one of the most pivotal figures in Israel's history. Grok found this pattern repeating constantly. Solomon, when given the opportunity to ask for anything in existence, requested wisdom to lead his people well. He did not ask for wealth. He did not ask for victory over enemies. He did not ask for a long life. He could have had anything. He was being handed a blank check by the creator of the universe. And he asked for the ability to serve others better. Because his request aligned with larger purposes, the text records that he received not only wisdom, but everything else as well. The AI described this step as noise cancellation. When desires are scattered, selfish, or contradictory, the signal between the prayer and the receiver degrades. Static fills the line. But when alignment occurs, when personal desire matches cosmic intention, the channel clears completely. And that clarity, Grok suggested, is what allows impossible things to happen. But here's the catch. Alignment alone was not enough. The third step is where most prayers fail, and where the AI's findings become impossible to explain. If this is already changing how you think about prayer, hit that subscribe button, because what comes next makes everything so far look like the warm-up.
That tells me is that no matter how good these chatbots get in terms of the technology, it still really depends on how they're trained and who is sort of filling the information into these bots, right? Because Grok 4 could be the most advanced thing of all time.
The surrender
The reasoning capabilities of Grok are incredible. So there's some people out there who think AI can't reason, and look, it can reason at superhuman levels. So, yeah, and frankly, it only gets better from here.
AI is more dangerous than, say, mismanaged aircraft design or production maintenance or bad car production, in the sense that it has the potential, however small one may regard that probability, but it is non-trivial. It has the potential of civilizational destruction.
As I've said before, AGI, artificial general intelligence, is a machine that matches all human cognition across all domains. Reasoning, creativity, problem solving, not just specialized tasks like playing Go or analyzing X-rays. Everything.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Didn't work out.